Hi, everybody. It is March 11th, 2026, and it is 2:37 p.m. And this is part two of my response to learning that Mark Carney, the so-called Prime Minister of Canada, induced a member of Parliament elected by the people of Nunavut as a New Democratic Party member to cross the floor to the Liberal side. And the leader of the New Democratic Party, Don Davies, said that he found this reprehensible and didn't believe that people should cross the floor. But I'm sure that it was something that he cooked up, that Don Davies cooked up with Mark Carney to prevent the total dissolution of the New Democratic Party, which has no future whatsoever as far as I'm concerned. It's a communist, socialist endgame. So I just wanted to say, after I did my diatribe using all kinds of foul language, which normally I try not to do, against Mark Carney screwing around with democracy in Canada, I was sitting in McDonald's, my happy place, just finished my 10,000 steps, and beside me, a group of young men sat down, and the man that sat beside me had Down syndrome, just like my brother Paul, and I had bought some cookies, some Oreo vanilla cookies, which were a bad decision, so I wanted to unload them. I asked them if they wanted these vanilla Oreo cookies, and they said yes. And this young man, his name was Bradley, he just started talking to me about, I said my name is Kathleen. He said he knew of an archaeologist in Egypt that discovered Cleopatra's tomb, and her name was Kathleen. I can't remember what he said the last name was, and he said archaeologist. Now, my brother Paul was much more low functioning. He would never have the foggiest concept of what an archaeologist was, let alone be able to say it. But it was like talking with Paul, listening to this young man, Bradley, speaking. And he was so smart, and he talked about such interesting things. And they were on their break. What they do is they're paid by the city of Coquitlam. Thank you, city of Coquitlam. Thank you, Richard Stewart. They're paid for 2 hours a day to pick up trash. And they go around our neighborhood. They could really use that around Coquitlam Center. When I do my 10,000 steps, I can really see the horrific trash everywhere. I don't know what people are thinking when they just throw trash on the ground beside the sidewalk. But I've calmed down from my horror at Mark Carney doing something that should really be illegal. And, I think here's this guy. He's a consultant to billionaires. His best friend is Ghislaine Maxwell, a convicted felon pedophile. There's many pictures of her, ChatGPT notwithstanding. ChatGPT says, there's no proof they were really friends. There's just these pictures of Mark Carney standing beside Jeffrey Epstein's girlfriend, Ghislaine Maxwell. I can't go into the depth of my disgust at him. I'll try not to use swear words. But for starters, when he started campaigning for Prime Minister of Canada, he had 32 nationalities, 27 from the European Union, 4 from the United Kingdom, and 1 from Canada, because he has an Irish passport. And I've asked ChatGPT if he has permanently given up, how hard would it be for him to get those nationalities back? And the one for the European Union, which is 27 nationalities, like Italy, Germany, etc. All it takes is a declaration to get the nationality and the passport, citizenship back. He's the most horrible man. He's ugly. His wife, I don't believe, has ever lived in Canada. His children don't live in Canada. His daughter goes to Harvard or something like that. And Mark Carney enrolled his daughter when she was a teenager, adolescent, in the Tavistock Clinic in London, which was a pediatric child sex change clinic that has been disgraced and shuttered and shut down. This is where this guy comes from. And he and Justin Trudeau have presided. This is the crux of everything. And it's the only issue I care about. Justin Trudeau, his little pet project was euthanasia of Canadians. The vast majority white women, Canadian citizens. And now if you think they've got to be dying or near death, you're mistaken. All it takes is one little piece of paper with the signatures of any two medical practitioners, any doctor, any nurse. And Canada, under Justin Trudeau and Mark Carney, have killed dead 100,000 Canadians. And I guarantee you, I practiced law for 23 years. I started off as a federal prosecutor. I guarantee you that the basic minimum requirements for killing people were not met in 100,000 cases, because I did divorces. And 50% of divorce applications were bumped and rejected as being incomplete, or the judge wanted to have more information, because they all had to be signed off by a Supreme Court judge, a Superior Court judge in Canada. It's a disgrace. I have been warning since 2021 that the rest of the world is horrified that we are putting our sovereignty in jeopardy. We're putting our unity in jeopardy by this despicable practice of killing people. When Margaret Mead, the world's premier first anthropologist, was asked, how could you tell that humankind had reached civilization, the stage of civilization? And she said that there was Homo sapien skulls that were a skull that was 40,000 years old, that was catastrophically injured, but showed signs of recovery. So somebody had to protect and care for that person. They didn't kill them. Medical is from the Greek word to heal, and you don't heal anyone by killing them. So, of course, the Conservatives haven't said that they're going to abolish euthanasia, but it's a start. Because the reason, one of the main reasons, is the impact on society. If a government can kill you, why would it ever bother to build roads or infrastructure or schools? Anyways, I calmed down, and I just wanted to say that I think it's reprehensible, repugnant. And Mark Carney, if you think you're going to get away with inducing anybody else to cross the floor to get your majority government, you've got another thing coming. Because Canadians, I guarantee you, if you thought that the COVID truck protest was inconvenient. You ain't seen nothing. You try and pull this stunt again. You evil piece. Oh, I don't know why I always end up calling him what I really think of him. He's a disgrace